Alright, so people think this game is not fit for Roblox. Now, I've heard some controversy with this game called Blood Depth, and it's this game where people are basically, you can either be a civilian or a shooter, and if you're the shooter, your goal is to kill the civilians. Now, I think that this is kind of weird personally. Now, it could definitely be used for the wrong reasons. But I don't know. I don't think that it's necessarily a bad game, right? I'm just talking about what I've heard. All right. So before you guys say, Pedro, you're thinking too much. Pedro, you're doing too much. You're a Karen or whatever. Just hear me out, okay? This is what I've heard commonly. Okay, I've heard two sides. I've heard one side saying this game is normal. It's whatever, you know. And I've heard another side of people saying this game is not good. Kids shouldn't be playing it. It shouldn't be on the platform. So I'm going to go over everything that I've heard. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. So if you don't know, this game is called Blood Depth. It released April 4th, 2025. And, you know, pretty decently well known. It has 1,000 people on right now. And over 15 million visits. So it's pretty well known. Now, here's the thing about this game, right? Basically, a lot of people are saying this game is not a good game for the platform because it's not the typical first-person shooter game, right? Typical FPS game would be like Arsenal. You know, everyone gets in a match and they start shooting each other. Whoever has the most kills gets this, or whoever, whatever. But this game has a lot of modes where it would take place in like an office place or a workplace or a subway station, places that you would see in real life. And then there's a shooter who has to kill civilians, right? So then the thing is, right, when you look at it that way, it's like, hold on, this is kind of like slightly weird. Only because, you know, the whole thought process of the game is, you know, you have to try to survive or try to kill, right? And it's kind of weird. Now the thing is, if someone's scared, obviously they have the full right not to play it. Now we have a different question. What if someone's not scared, but what if they're angry? What if they're angry with their workplace, their school place, whatever, their home, and they use that game to fantasize, right? Because that's definitely possible. Now anyone can do this with any game, obviously, but this game, like, that's pretty easy to do it with this game. I mean, like, the animations are kind of crazy. Like, you can get shot in your stomach and leg and brain and head or whatever. And, you know, the game knows that it's like that, right? The game knows that it's easier for people to think that way. Because when you join, they give you a warning. They say, hey, hold on. I'm going to read it word for word what it says. This game has depictions of crime, fantasy violence, and things that might appear as disturbing or cruel to viewers or whatever, right? Now, the problem with that is, right, it tells you you can either understand or say that's okay with you. It says please play only when you're in a good mental state, which is great. I think the developers are great for doing that. Now the problem with this is even though it has two warnings that says, you know, content warning, this game does not take inspiration from real places or people. If there are any similarities, it is a coincidence. It's a fiction game and it has no depiction, no real life blah blah blah, right? Which is great. Now the thing is, right, anyone, literally anyone could just say I don't understand, okay, I don't really care, and then to get in there and start mag dumping, right? Because realistically, that's how people are. No one's gonna say like, you know what, you're right, I should stop being a school threat. And if I am a school threat, I shouldn't play this game. I feel like personally, right now, even though I don't think the game should necessarily be taken down, I do think that this method is not gonna work. I do not think people are gonna be like, you know what, you're right. You guys are right. We shouldn't be on this game fantasizing. Because if someone is kind of tweaking that much enough to even think that way, they're not gonna read the message and change their mind. I do think it's a good effort though, and I don't think the message should be removed. But I'm just gonna say this right now: that message is not gonna do nothing. that method is not gonna work. But yeah, now the whole entire point of the game really is survive if you're a survivor, kill if you're a killer. And I mean, look at games like Murder Mystery 2, right? Why are people not complaining about that? Why are people not saying this game should be taken down as well? I mean, it's the exact same thing. You're either a civilian, a sheriff, or a killer. The only thing is this one involves a gun, and people feel some type of way about it. Now, I kind of understand why it might feel different. I mean, you know, when you have a game like Blood Depth, it's kind of like the game feels more realistic. It feels more accurate to what a real life shooting would be like. Because, you know, when you're playing a game like Murder Mystery 2 and you get killed by someone who's emoting, holding a purple glowing knife, it's not as violent or it's not as realistic as someone who has, you know, actual like AK and they put that junk on your head and blow your junk smooth off. That's completely different. And I guess people think it's different, even though really I personally think it's the same thing pretty much. I mean, I don't think it should be removed. I think if games like Blood Depth should be removed, I think the same about Murder Mystery 2. I'm sure there's a lot of other games out there that have the same sort of concept. I mean, if you think about it, it's really just a horror game where, you know, the bad guy or the villain or whatever is just another player. Now, I do agree though that this game can definitely fuel some mental roller coasters, right? When you have a person who's not okay mentally 100%, on Roblox, like let's say something's going on at school or their workplace or in an environment that they're at, and then they play this game to blow off steam or to fantasize, that's where it becomes a problem. And I'm not about to sit here and act like that won't happen, because it definitely can. So I'm gonna say it like this, right? Roblox is a platform where there's a lot of kids, right? There's a lot of kids on the platform. These kids don't necessarily have a fully okay moral compass, so they might not know right from wrong as well as much adults do. So when adults or older devs make this game, and then you have like 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds playing it, the way that they receive the content in the game is definitely different than most people. So me personally, am I gonna say this game should be removed? Absolutely not. I don't think it should be removed. I think it's a good game. It's a cool concept. It's just like Murder Mystery 2 in my eyes, right? Now the problem is, people, right? It's not the actual concept, it's the people. And this is a real serious topic, right? I do make a lot of fun game videos a lot of times, but this is a pretty serious topic to talk about, because it's not exactly like Roblox anime battlegrounds games where you have powers and you fight each other. This one's kind of darker and has dark concepts, and the devs know that, right? They know that because of, I guess, the community talking about it, and because, while they're making the game, I guess they thought, this game's kind of dark, right? Because it is. It kind of depicts how situations will play out in real life, and I think that's what makes it separate from something like Murder Mystery 2 or Arsenal or whatever, right? Because other FPS games are usually like war, like you're fighting on a battlefield, you're hiding in a bus, throwing grenades and whatnot. This game, you're just a dude at work on a Sunday, and then someone comes in and blows your head off your neck, right? Like, that's not exactly, like, this looks like a live leak like video, basically. Like, that's the way it looks like. So me personally, I don't play the game, right? I played it a couple times just to try it out for this video, because I heard about it, and I was scrolling on TikTok and I see people saying mixed things, right? That's why I made this video. I heard some people saying, oh, this game is fun, this game is funny to play with friends, and it definitely can be, because you can play with VC, and it's really cool. And then of course I hear the opposite. I hear, this game isn't safe, this game is for school threats, you're a weirdo if you play this, if you're weird if you play Blood Depth, whatever, blah blah blah. And I don't know, me personally, I say, if you want to play it, go ahead, play it. I just say that, obviously the moral thing to do if you're not in the right state of mind is hop off the game. Go take a break, go breathe, pray, do whatever you need to do to calm yourself down and not be in that state of mind anymore, right? And I feel like some people are not going to do that. So that's my only problem with this game. The people, not the developers, not the community who actually plays it normally, but rather the people who are going to play the game. And you can't stop those people from being exactly where they are in life, right? Even if you put those messages up, even if you convey the fact that you're serious and you do not want them to play the game if they're going to be, not okay mentally, people are going to do that regardless, right? You can't stop that from happening. That's inevitable. And I personally think that the developers can keep doing what they're doing or not. I don't really know. I think the game is well designed. It's fun to play with friends for sure, especially with VC. And I think that if this game gets taken down, the same thing should happen to Murder Mystery 2 or other games. The only problem is that Murder Mystery 2 doesn't look as realistic as this game. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. So yeah, a lot of people are saying you shouldn't play this game. Obviously that's up to you, but again, I'm gonna say exactly what the developers have said. If you are not okay, do not play this game. Seek help immediately. Like, seriously, seek help. And yeah, that's everything I have to say. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.